everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the R.E.M Beauty Midnight Shadows eyeshadow palette in Groovy Baby. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to reply back. Each eyeshadow palette retails for $24 at Ulta Beauty and R.E.M online. There are 6 palettes in total. I purchased each palette for $12 during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. I do want to read a little bit about these eyeshadow palettes on Ulta's website. R.E.M Beauty Midnight Shadow eyeshadow palette includes a mix of 6 ultra blendable mattes plus shimmers with a silky lightweight feel and maximum color payoff. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Midnight Shadows eyeshadow palette, Groovy Baby. Underneath that you have a little description. Then it says R.E.M Beauty. You get 8 grams of product or 0.28 ounces. Up at the top you have all of the shades that are included plus the shade names. On this side of the packaging you have the barcode printed. On the other side it states it has a 24-month shelf life, and on the back it states it in a different language. On the bottom you have the list of ingredients and it states it was made in the USA. Here's what the actual eyeshadow palette looks like. It says R.E.M Beauty. On the back you have the palette name. Again, this is in the shade Groovy Baby. Here's what the inside looks like. It comes with a mirror. Here's what all 6 shades look like inside. The first shade in the palette is called Smiley. This feels very soft in the pan. Smiley is described as a pale gold shimmer. Here's what it looks like blended out. The second shade is called Happy Baby. Happy Baby is described as a metallic golden champagne. The third shade in the palette is called Lavender Submarine. Lavender Submarine is described as a matte cool lavender. This shade looks a little bit chalky. Next up, we have the shade in Disco Queen. Disco Queen is described as a metallic taupe with purple shimmer. I don't like how this shade blended out. It looks a bit gray. The second to last shade is called Woodstock. Woodstock is described as a blackened teal with multicolor shimmer. Here's what that shade looks like. The last shade in the palette is called Shroomy. Shroomy is described as a matte deep eggplant. This shade is very patchy. I don't like how the last shade blended out. Here's what all 6 shades look like in the palette. Now we're going to create a look using this palette. Taking a clean fluffy brush, I'm going to dip into the shade in Lavender Submarine. I'm getting a little bit of kick up in the pan. Applying this to my crease, going back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions. That lavender you can barely see. I'm going to build it up. The lavender shade is buildable. I applied 3 to 4 layers, but it doesn't look the same as when I swatched it on the back of my hand. That's disappointing. Using my finger, I'm gonna dip into the shadow in Happy Baby, pat this all over the lid. That shade is pretty. I did get a tiny bit of fallout, but that's totally fine. I'll clean that up later. Taking a pointed pencil brush, I'm gonna dip into the shadow in Smiley. I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout in the pan. Applying this in my inner corner and dragging it up a little bit. I like that shade in the inner corner. Taking a clean fluffy brush, I'm going to dip into the shade in Shroomy. This shade doesn't have much fallout. Apply this in my outer V doing circular motions. This shade doesn't seem as patchy. Taking my finger, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Woodstock. Pack this all over the lid. That shade is so pretty. Again, I did get a little bit of fallout, but that's totally fine. I'll clean that up later. Taking a clean pointed brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Disco Queen. Again, I'm getting a tiny bit of kick up. Applying this to my inner corner, connecting it to the shade in Woodstock. Disco Queen is more of a gunmetal shade. it's pretty. I'm gonna clean the fallout underneath my eyes and then I'll come back to apply mascara. I cleansed the fallout underneath my eyes as best as I could. Here's how the eyeshadow look turned out. For mascara, I'm going to apply the Maybelline The Falsies Surreal Mascara. I've been trying out this mascara for quite some time. My final thoughts about this mascara is that I'm not sure if I love it because it does tend to clump. I do like the volume it gives my lashes. For lips, I'm going to apply the Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Cashew. Here's what everything looks like. My final thoughts on the Groovy Baby eyeshadow palette is that I don't like it. I didn't like how the last shade blended out on the back of my hand. I do like how it looks when you concentrate the product, but when you go back and forth and blend it out, it will look very patchy. I had a similar issue with the Principessa palette. The last shade blended out very patchy. I don't think these palettes are worth $24. I don't even think they're worth $12 in my opinion. I paid $12 and I'm not happy with my purchase. I just didn't like how they blended out, and I don't think this particular palette in Groovy Baby needed a similar champagne shade. I feel like they could have replaced this shade with maybe another matte shade. This palette only has 2 mattes. Let me know in the comments down below if you have the Groovy Baby eyeshadow palette. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.